Hello, my subscribers. Welcome to Jamaican chapter. I am Nigel D. Salmon, and today I'm coming to you again from Logwood Cemetery here in Black River. And this is part two. In my part one, I came here, but I only came to the side of the cemetery. Now I'm at the gate and I'm gonna be doing part two. I have not done a part two before, so let me enter and do part two. I saw a gate there, but as I am walking down, I think there is also another gate down here. So I think this would be the main gate. All right, this would be the main gate to Logwood Cemetery. I missed this main gate the first time because I was all the way up there. It's a huge cemetery. To tell you the truth, it's a huge cemetery based on how far I walk from up there to come here. All right, so this is the tour of Logwood Cemetery Part 2. All right, so now it's time to go over there. I'm standing across at this nice mango tree that is bearing. It's mango time. All right, so I'm heading in right now. And for the subscribers, I'm just saying that for the subscribers who wanted me to do a part two, this is done on your request. And I can see the necessity of it as I'm standing here. All right, so let me head over now. This is gonna be interesting. There are some men over there working. Maybe they're building a new grave or something. All right, let's hit the cemetery and find out the history of some of the people who are buried here at Logwood Cemetery here in Black River. All right, so it's really relaxing over here from underneath the cool trees. We hear some tapping in the background. It's really some men who are working on a brand new tomb. Working on a brand new tomb. The first thing I noticed though is that the cemetery is still active, but it needs to be brushed up. There are a lot of trees. And I say a lot of trees, I mean it's a lot of trees all over there. That's the entire cemetery. So let me start at the front here, and here is a grave here, no writing. And I saw this man's grave the minute I looked to the right when I walked over here. I could see his picture. This is the grave of Kenneth Austin Spencer. Says in loving memory of Kenneth Austin Spencer, beloved dad, granddad, and uncle, born the 7th of August 1930, called to rest the 23rd of February 2018. So that's 1930 to 2018. And here is a photograph of him. So that is the grave of Kenneth Austin Spencer. Still an active cemetery. Individuals are actively buried here, but why is it though that the place is not debushed? That's what you call it, debushed. It's huge. It is huge. You can see some new graves here. Another grave with a house designed in the form of a house. Here we have the grave of, I'm gonna stop saying grave, the tomb, right? Saying grave and saying tomb are not the same thing. So here's the tomb of Harriet Legister. You will always be in our hearts because in there you are still alive. January 23, 1963 to September 2, 2021. She died recently. She died recently. 2021 can be considered recent. Harriet Legister was an employee at Black River Hospital from 1992 up till her death in 2021. She was one of the healthcare workers who died from COVID-19. As you can see, her death happened on September 2, 2021. I would not consider that as, a long time ago. Then you have the tombs with nothing on them, like nothing on them. And then between those, you'll have the tombs that are grilled up. And here we are at the tomb of Dolores Joanita Brown. Dolores Brown, 71 years of unconditional love and a symbol of peace like the dove, missed by all whom on earth you met. Dolores, your life will never forget. So Dolores was born on the 14th of the 8th, 1940, and she died on the 28th of the 9th, 2011. That's the grave of Dolores. It's quiet out here, apart from the workers. And here we are at the grave of, say, in loving memory of Neville Smith, husband, father, and grandfather, we all love and miss you very much. You will always remain cherished in our hearts and memories. August 4, 1940 to February 1, 2012. So Mr. Neville has died way back in 2012. Such a nice photograph there. He's smiling and everything, you know. 1940 to 2012, that make you're in your 60s. You're in your 60s, right? Here's a flat grave, all tiled up and looking good. And this is the grave. It says, in loving memory of our dear father, grandfather, and brother, Saint Albin Shields, born November 2, 1947, died March 9, 2019. And there's a picture of him here. And they wrote something below his photo. They say, looking back at memories upon the path you trod, we cherish the time we had with you and leave the rest to God. Okay, St. Albin Shields, 1947 to 2019. He has a face that looks familiar, as if, I've seen it before. And besides St. Albin Shield, we have, it says, in loving memory of Estella Graham Shields. Okay, this person's also a Shields, and affectionately called Lind Shields, right there. She was born August 6, 1945, and died December. Okay, that's all rubbed out. She died somewhere in December for certain years. It's all rubbed out. And this is her photograph, Estella Graham Shields. And below it say, we love you. You left us with good memories, gone but not forgotten. Sleep well, mom. So these words would have been written by a daughter or a son, a child of her, because they sleep well, mom. So Estella Graham Shields was probably the wife of Saint Alban Shields over there. Uh, the both of them are buried together right here, beside each other, rather, beside each other, here at Logwood Cemetery. I don't see the year that Estella died because it was rubbed out. It was rubbed out. So I didn't see that. Here at the grave of Donna Grant. Donna Grant, September 9, 1963 to November 20, 2016. And on her grave, it's written, say, every day in some small way, memories of you come our way. Though absent, you are ever near, still missed, will loved, and ever dear. Donna Grant. Yeah, they love her. I mean, they spend time ensuring that her memory can last for long. Look at It's all grilled around, all grilled around. And behind Donna Grant, we have another grave here. Say, in loving memory of my dear husband and no, in loving memory of my dear husband, father, grandfather, Alfonso Johnson, born August 7, 1927. No, born August 7, 1926, and died 13th of November 2014. Rest in peace. This is a tomb of Alfonso Johnson. I wonder what Alfonso Johnson was like. Makes me wonder what was he like, you know? And behind him we have another grave. It's in loving memory of, could this be Celine? It has to be Celine or Jeline. I'm gonna say Celine because I'm not sure. Celine Anthony Neil Jati. Right, Jati. He was called Jati. Sunrise December 28, 1944 to sunset July 14, 2009. Jati. Okay, so 1944 to 2009, that means he was 56 plus that. About about 40, about 65 years old. Here beside Douglas Grant, we have say, in memory of our beloved mother, Caroline Bennett, died the 21st of February 1952, age 83. So Caroline Bennett died all the way in 1952 at age 83. That's a long life. And beside Caroline, we have the grave of Gloria Chung, in loving memory of Gloria Chung, mother, grand and great grandmother. Sunrise December 20, 1928 to sunset February 11, 2020. Okay, so she died like 4 years ago. Okay, she was way up there. She could have made it to 100. She had a long life. Huge cemetery here. They're building something over there. I don't know what that is. Must be an apartment complex or maybe a shopping center. I don't know what that is, but it's a huge cemetery here. Logwood Cemetery here. All right, so here we are at the grave of this lady. She kind of looked like Samuel L. Jackson. You know that actor called Samuel L. Jackson? But just not with the hair. He doesn't have the hair. Say, in loving memory of a dear wife, mother, and grandmother. Is this Victoria? I think it's Victoria. Victoria Wright. Sunrise, the 6th of the 3, 1933 to sunset, the 5 of the 8, 2000. Victoria Wright. And beside Victoria Wright, we have this man. Thing is what? What's that? Headley, U Uriah Wright. So they could have been husband and wife. He died in 2011. Victoria over there, she died in 2000, and he died 2011. They could be husband and wife. I think they are. They are buried very close to each other here. So he was born 1938, died 2011. Oh, this is the grave of Ferdinand Johnson. Ferdinand Johnson is described as a father, grandfather, and great grandfather. Sunrise January 4, 1933 to July 1, 2009. So 2009. So 1933 to 2009 for Ferdinand Johnson. I I saw these two graves over here. They're painted in the same color. So it is my assumption that they were families. And they are. They are. From afar I can see that they are Samuels. The both of them are Samuels. It says in loving memory of Iselin Samuels. Sunrise November 4, 1944 to sunset July 5, 2009. Iselin. And over at this side, there's a crack here. It's okay. And here we have the grave of, what do you call this? Levi or Levi? I'm gonna say Levi. Levi Samuels. In loving memory of Levi Samuels, born December 8, 1928, died July 22, 2011. So the both of them are Samuels. If Iselin was born in 1944 and Levi was born in 1928, it means that could they be father and daughter, or maybe they are husband and wives? Because 28 is not that far from 44. Okay, but they are related. They are related, whether through marriage or through, family, I'm not sure. Here we are at the grave of, say, in loving memory of our beloved father, grandfather, great grandfather, Wilfred Alexander Nesbeth, November 20, 1927 to November 11, 2011. So he was born in November and he died in November. I've never heard I've never heard of the surname Nesbeth. I've heard it being used, but I've never heard it as a surname. Nesbeth. The sky is cloudy. The sky is cloudy. Look as if it's gonna rain here in Black River. Will it rain? Okay, look at this grave here. It's designed in the form of a house or maybe a church. I think it's a house because based upon the drawings of the windows, they're showing curtain. I don't see church with curtains at the window. At least not the church itself. So if you have a church building and their curtain, probably is a bedroom on the upstairs or something. But let me see if they have any writings on it. They spend a lot of time here putting this together. The angels, the two angels are on the top. There's no writing, no writing at all. So it's hard to say whose grave this is. And beside it, we have the grave of Leslie Anglin. Says in loving memory of Leslie Anglin, April 3, 1927 to July 27, 2011. So that's the period in which Leslie lived, 1927 to 2011. I wonder what he was during that period of his life. Was he a teacher, a plumber, a carpenter? Oh, here we have the grave of Evelyn Mackenzie, 1918 to 2010. She died on January 1, 2010. So you are able to see the new year, Evelyn Mackenzie. I'm not sure if you were lying in bed at the time or you were able to celebrate. So there's a lot of noise coming from over there. That's workmen at work over there. Inside this grilled white and what's this? White and gold. I'm not good at color, But inside this we have the grave of Imogen Gale Williams. Imogen Gale Williams. July 15, 1934 to August 2, 2010. So she died like one day after Evelyn Mackenzie, who's buried right over there. That's Evelyn. Evelyn died on the first day of January 2010, but Imogen here was able to survive until the next day. So their funeral might have happened very close to each other. I saw this grave here. It's under this. Oh Lord, I love it. I don't remember what these are called. Isn't that a lovely picture? Look at that. I think I'm gonna screenshot this. This is lovely. These, I don't remember the name of it standing here right now. Such lovely tree. There, it's right over the grave here of. Let me see. Winston Campbell. I assume that is Roy or Loy, the middle name. Okay, Winston Campbell, July 18, 1940 to November 12, 2021. Beloved father, grandfather, and great grandfather. So it's all under this tree, this little tree here bearing. They use these to make castor oil. I'm under my umbrella right now, and because the rain is dewing, but I did not take it out because the rain was dewing. I took it out because the sun was a little hot. But the minute I took it out, the rain started dewing. All those bush you see over there, this is the cemetery. I'm gonna go back to this side, to the left of the cemetery, to get some. Oh, look at those goats. Hello. I saw a lot of goats over here since I'm over here. So here is the grave of Winifred Smith, 1939 to 2011. Winifred Smith is in this grilled around area, and inside here we have three graves inside this huge grilled around area. And the first one is Edlin Agatha Roach, 1924 to 2016. This is Joan Joan Faye Clark, and they will call her Fairy. 1955 to 2011. So Joan Faye Clark. And beside her at the left is Linval Horatio Clark, 1954 to 2015. Could he be the husband of Joan Faye Clark? Possibly. I'm not sure what this was designed to be. Not sure what this was designed to be. Oh, I don't think. Oh, okay. It was a grill around. It was meant to be around something like that. See that the way it's around those graves. This meant to be around some graves, but like they lift it up and put it there. Either it got old or it was to be placed. I'm not sure. Whatever. Whatever. This is the grave of Linval Augustus Myers, Mr. Boy. Linval Augustus Myers, Mr. Boy. So they call him Mr. Boy. Entrance December 13, 1960. Exit November 12, 2013. So he was born in 1960, died in 2013. He died before his birthday, so he was 52, 52 years old. At the right, it says, missed by mother, sisters, brothers, children, nieces, nephews, and a host of friends. Mr. Boy. Beside Mr. Boy is a grave design in the same tile. And this is the grave of Arn- Arnold, Arnold, Arnold Myers. Oh yes, they are related because that's Linval Augustus Myers, Mr. Boy. He's a Myers. And over here we have Arnold Myers, JP. He was called Babe. Entrance August 29, 1957, and he died October 8, 2012. So he died a year before Mr. Boy, but he was born before Mr. Boy. So there are two males. So I was gonna say husband and wives, but then I realized it's two males. So they are likely that they were brothers. Okay, Arnold and Linval. So they are likely that they were brothers. Oh, okay. Let me check to the extreme left of the cemetery. It's raining now. You notice that it's always rain. It's from recently I noticed it's raining when I'm walking through a cemetery. It's raining, and I don't see anywhere that I can go. It's a good thing I bring my umbrella, and I never brought my umbrella. Look at this. I never brought my umbrella for the rain. I brought it to protect my phone from the sun. Here is the grave of Reuben Augustus Sr., 1923 to 2014. Reuben. I love the name Reuben. Reuben. I love it. Oh my God, the rain is getting heavier. The rain is getting heavier, and I'm not seeing anywhere in sight to go. So goodness me, I'm glad I brought my umbrella. Under my umbrella, 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 yeah. I'm at the grave of this young woman and she's just smiling, 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 smiling. I'm all wet. No, I'm not all wet. I'm under my small umbrella here. There's a little house, like something like a little house right there. And I'm tempted to go there, but you can't just go there. You don't know who is in there. Maybe somebody who decided, let me put up a little thing here. But I'm gonna go onto this grave. It says, in loving memory of our beloved mother, grandmother, sister, and aunt, Miss Joycelyn Imogen Spence. I love the hair. I love the hair. I love the smile. She was born July 24, 1955, and she died March 10, 2016. This is the tomb of Joycelyn Imogen Spence. So, yes, her memory lives on. Nice grave they gave her there. Nice tombstone. Tombstone. I almost missed this one. I almost missed this one. Could this be a child? Oh no, it's not a child. The grave is big all the way down there. But this little part, you could just be seated right there if it wasn't raining. Says, in loving memory of Headley Canute Ferguson. Sunrise July 6, 1934 to sunset January 15, 2016. So that's July 6, 1934 to January 15, 2016. And there's a grave over there that's designed just like his. Yeah, it's designed just as his. And I'm gonna go over there and check it out. Oh, it's another Ferguson. So they designed this grave just like the one I just read. It says, in loving memory of Irene Ferguson, Miss Evadne, July 14, 1940 to September 19, 2017. The graves are designed alike and they have the same Ferguson last name. Could be husband and wife. Let me go and check over again. Let me see if Irene Ferguson, who born in 1940. Oh yeah, they could be husband and wife. I think they are. I think that Headley Ferguson there, grave design the same way, is related to Irene buried here. Look at this grave. Like somebody come here and smash it. Oh, hold on. Here's a grave of Tracy Spence. This is a grave of Tracy Spence. Say Tracy Spence, in loving memory of a dear daughter, mother, and sister, Tracy Spence, May 8, 1974 to January 27, 2018. January 27, 2018. Tracy. I like that name, Tracy. Tracy Spence. Lorna James. GG. Lorna James. Hi, Lorna. November 14, 1950 to December 13, 2018. Lorna James. She lived from 1950 to 2018, which means that she was about 68 years old. 68 can be considered a long time, don't you think? So they designed this person's grave with with a drawing. They draw like a young man on it. Look at it. The writing has disappeared off it. It says something like Wardo. Okay, hold on. Let me see if I can figure it out. I'm not sure. Say Wardo. They use a pen, no, a marker, the same thing they use and draw, but this seems to be the grave of a young guy. Wardo. I just see Wardo on it. This person was buried not too long ago. Uh, Another house grave. Oh, this person was buried so long ago. Their graves are lost. I'm gonna try to keep back the memory of this person. Say, sacred to the memory of Mistress E. Bennett, died the 24th March 1946, age 77. Gone but not forgotten. May her soul rest in the arms of Jesus. Wow, she died all the way back in March 1946. Many of the people who come to this funeral are also dead. That's a long time ago, 1946. All right, here's a grave over here. Say Headley Wallace, 1931 to 2016. That's Headley Wallace. There's a heavy rain coming, a heavy rain coming. I'm continuing on towards the left part side of the cemetery. I had no idea how big this place is, man. It's huge. Absolutely huge. Here at the grave of, say, in loving memory of Nathaniel Jones, Colin, April 4, 1949 to August 9, 2021. Nathaniel, and he was Nathaniel Jones, he was called Colin. And there's some cool trees over here. We find the grave here of, say, in loving memory of Morel Williams, aka Presser, May 25, 1951 to September 26, 2021. So that's May 25, 1951 to September 26, 2021. They say a loving father, grandfather, and husband missed by his grandchildren. Your memories are forever precious. Your memories will forever be eternal. This is the tomb of Pressa. I want to go down here. I saw this lady's grave. There's a picture on it. Says, there she is. in her church hat, smiling, closed lip smile. Norma Louise Collins, 1941 to 2021. I saw this grave here, and it's things, a lot of things growing up around it. And I look at the date of death, and it's just 2022. Says in loving memory of Iselin Campbell, December 13, 1940 to February 25, 2022. Sleep well in the arms of God, for your faith was always true. You are forever in our hearts and forever in our minds. Rest in peace. Iselin Campbell. What a huge cemetery. I thought in the first video I did that it was a small cemetery, having no idea how huge this place really is. Joyce Williams, 1934 to May 27, 2022. One say in loving memory of Per Lester Myers, who died on October 19, 2022. Lovely grave, lovely tiling work. There's some new graves over here. Some new graves, the bucket, the wreath are still on them. This one was new. They even still have the board at the front there. And it's beside the grave of Phyllis Millicent Williams. She was born in 1935 and she died on August 8, 2023. She could be related to that person, but there's nothing written on it yet. Who knows? And as usual, here is a big tree here. You know, these trees grow in cemeteries. I think they grow anywhere, but I noticed that in some cemeteries I tend to see these big trees. I don't think I want to stay over here until that heavy rain hits. There's hardly anywhere to go. Da-dum, da-dum, dum, 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 dum. I'm at this new grave. This person was just buried last year. It says, in loving memory of late Dishi Dukas. And he was called G-Man. G-Man. He died. He was born. Oh, hold on. Something is not. Oh, he was just 20 years old. G-Man was just 20 years old. He was born March 22, 2003. Could easily be my son. Died sunset April 7, 2023. So he was 20 years old. And at the bottom they say a caring son, brother, cousin, nephew, and friend. Always in our thoughts. G-Man. Died last year. Makes me wonder what happened. At age 20, my God, this rain is gonna tear like crazy, man. And here we are at the grave of a person who died last year. Let me see if I can pull that in from where I'm standing. It says, in loving memory of Reverend Orville Robert Moore, JP, husband, father, son, and brother, born June 27, 1970, died June 1, 2023. So he was about 52 years old. And he was a reverend. Says, that's what it says. It says, Reverend Orville Robert Moore. He died last year. Reverend Orville Moore was pastor of the Santa Cruz Holiness Christian Church in St. Elizabeth. He was also an official at the Department of Correctional Services. On Monday, May 29 of 2023, Reverend Moore left Kingston driving a silver Fortuner. He was never heard from again. His dead body was found in bushes at Spurtree Hill, Manchester, beside the wrecked vehicle. Police initially believed he died as a result of his vehicle running off the road and crashed. But a government autopsy and an independent autopsy showed that Reverend Moore died from strangulation. His death, to some extent, is still a mystery. I'm looking at this grave up here and it's very long. Why is this so long? Why is this grave so long? I should have asked one of the workers here. It's very long. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. This is a very long grave. And I'm sure it's not just one person buried here. Okay. I don't know. So this person is buried, and what they did, they put a red stripe bear as the headstone. Red stripe bear as the headstone. That's weird. That's absolutely weird. This person got a lot of wreath. Yeah, man, a lot of wreath. There are a lot of space here. I can see that there were some graves, old graves, all the way over here by themselves. Some old graves all the way over here by themselves. Look at this. These are rooted up by the very tree that grew between them. These people are forgotten. And the people who went to these funerals, including the pastor, they're also dead. I don't know the date. I see this one locked away in the bush here. I'm going to try to see if I can read it. It says, Ellen Lloyd Wright died the 22nd of June 1922. Sleep in peace. I was able to read that. See this old one here. Here's another old one here. It says in loving memory of my mother. Let me figure that out. E. Francis. It's a Ferguson. It's a Ferguson. All right. She died. Okay, I can't figure. Maybe 1929 or something like that. Well, the person who says that in loving memory of my mother, I'm sure that person's not around right now. I'm fascinated by this side where I'm seeing this old graves. Look at this one. You know, no matter how something is new, after a time it becomes old and almost forgotten. It says, in loving memory of a loving wife and devoted mother, Lydia Elizabeth Gooden. So it's Lydia. Lydia Elizabeth Gooden, 1876 to 1939. What's that? Like Lydia Elizabeth Gooden was living in Black River. She was the wife of Thomas Gooden, who was a clerk. According to her death registration form, she had diabetes and myocarditis. Lydia Elizabeth Gooden. I'm glad I document this because, wow, everybody who went to her funeral are now gone. On this side of the cemetery, you see old graves, and I make you wonder why they didn't start out here. Look at this type of grave, this type of tomb. I told myself I would say tomb, but I just can't remember. Look at this. I used to think that the person was buried in there, but that's how they used to build these tombs. I wish the headpiece had survived so I could read it, but this is maybe back in the 1920s or and so on. And there is another one again. This is all gone. No one around to remind anybody who was buried there. This one, maybe this is not a grave. Not sure if this was a grave. And then there's some over up there. Let me go and check it out as the rain pound all the way over there. There's so many space here. So many space. Logwood Cemetery has a lot of space. This is Logwood Cemetery Part 2. The Part 2 that shows the true width and length of this cemetery. My first video, I thought I was just looking at something small. Wow. These are people who are forgotten. And it's not just they forgotten, but those who would remember are also dead. Let me see this old grave. It says, in loving memory of our dear father, John A. Wallace, died 16th November 1925, age 64, at peace. John Alexander Wallace was a planter living in Barton, St. Elizabeth. According to his death registration form, he died of inflammation of the gallbladder. I love this headstone. They last very long. Last very long. So this is the grave of John A. Wallace. There are graves up here. More graves. Look at this one over here. You can see even ducks rest making their nest on it. That's ducks' nest. They usually live in the trees, but these ducks are right here. I don't know what these ducks use to make their homes, or their nests. I don't know where they get, I don't know if it's dirt, but look at that. Nature has its way, man. Nature has its way. These ants, they know exactly what they're doing. If you knock it, you would see them just running out. But I'm not going to do that. Nobody wants to be in their house and get knocked out, right? You have to have that same respect for animals too, or insects. So here we have, you see, in loving memory of my adopted father, Adolphus M. Williams, Adolphus Williams, died the 27th April 1925, age 77. So he died all the way in 1925. Adolphus Napoleon Williams was a road contractor in St. Elizabeth. According to his death registration form, he died from senile debility. At the top it says, in loving memory of my adopted father. So whomever that person is, I'm sure he or she also died now, because Adolphus Williams died on the 27th of April 1925. It's almost 100 years now. This is 2024, almost 100 years later. So everybody who was here, those who were crying, and those who were just coming for the food, they are all gone. This section has the old graves. Here's the grave of what appears to be a baby. There's no writing on it. Well, whomever you were to be, whatever you were to become, the world never got to experience it. All right, so let's go back now to the contemporaries, the people who lived in our time here at Logwood Cemetery. I'm passing this and I'm a little puzzled. In loving memory of a dear husband, father, brother, and uncle, Owen Bennett, born the 16th of the 3, 1927, died the 23 of the 1, 1996. But if you look at this grave, it looked like it was just built. You still have the wood around it to hold the cement. So if he died in 1996, which is like 28 years ago. Why is his grave so fresh? The only common sense reasoning I can come up with is that he was reinterred. That's the word, reinterred here. In other words, his body was removed from where it was originally buried and then it was brought here. That's the only explanation because you died way back in 1996. Your grave wouldn't look like this with the slab, your fresh cement. Uh-uh. So Mr. Owen Bennett, who died in 1996, his body was moved here. The headstone does not look new. It looked like it was on the first grave, wherever they took it from. And beside him here is, I don't see anything, but somebody stick a button here, and it says Marva Samuels. That's all I can get from it. So Marva is buried here. I love the trees, even though they are covering a lot of the graves. But these type of trees don't look like bush. Just like they need to be shaped up. It looks like nice, like some flowers in your backyard. And here we have the grave of Felissa Georgina, no, Felissa Georgian Peter, 1989 to 2019. So that was young. She probably was 30 years old. Yeah, about 30 years old. That was young. That was a young age. I just stand on that and I could hear the sound of it. Norma W. Suncroft, 1928 to 2018. Look at that grave there. Look at this grave. I like it. Say sleep in peace. Um, I'm not sure, but it's a brown. Nice grave. I like the design. Love the design. What's these? What are these fruits? I don't know if it's a fruit because it's soft. I don't know what that is. Right. Here we are at the grave of Mistress Hermaline Elaine Robertson. Sunrise July 21, 1959 to September 19, 2016. Mistress Hermaline Roberts. I love her hairstyle. I like when people, design their hair to fit their face. Because not everybody design their hair to fit their face. She knows her looks and she designed her hair to fit her face. Right. Due to the rain, guys, I'm not gonna read any more graves. I'm gonna get out of here so I can get to some kind of shelter for when the rain starts. Here are some graves of the Francis. Okay, here we have there there are four graves here. We have Edmund Isaac Francis, 1866 to September 9, 1954. And then beside that we have Lily Emma Arabella Francis, 1895 to September 23, 1989. So she lived until she was about 94. And then beside that we have Marjorie Joyce Francis, February 11, 1930 to January 18, 2011. And the last one we have is Dr. Harold Roy Francis, 1927 to April 24, 1999. So this is the Francis family, from those who born in the 1800 to the last one here, 1994. So that's Dr. Harold Roy Francis, May 3, 1927 to April 24, 1994. Okay, so it's Marjorie Francis that died in 2011. All right, guys, the rain is coming down. The rain is coming down. I got to go now. Let me read. Here's the last one I'm gonna read as the rain takes its toll here. We're at the grave of Dorcas Cecilia Sims. Dorcas Cecilia Sims, 1928 to 2022. Long life, Dorcas. Alright, guys, the rain is coming down now. It's getting heavy. It's raining. Oh, it's raining, raining. This now makes the third time that I'm recording and I'm faced with rain. And this time I have to be standing under a maca tree. Yeah, Jamaican maca tree. And I have my umbrella. I have my umbrella and it's showering right now. The cemetery is huge. Just right around the road, all the way from around there, go all the way down there. It's huge. This part of the cemetery is filled. I was not able to read this part. Since I can't really go anywhere, I might as well just stand here under my umbrella, like Rihanna, under my umbrella. And as soon as the rain cools down, I can go into the history of some of these people. But it's difficult due to the lot of maca trees down at this side. Here we are at the grave of Michael George Ebanks. Michael George Ebanks, sunrise September 9, 1960 to sunset March 21, 2006. So that's Michael George Ebanks, called Fat Belly. So he was called Fat Belly. I assume it's because he had a fat belly, right? A big belly. So it looked like Michael George Ebanks was a man with big belly. This side of the cemetery looks as if it is filled with graves. Here at the grave of Maxie Daly, 1947 to 1977. That was young. Maxie Daly was a laborer from Newtown, Black River, St. Elizabeth. He died aged 31 at Kingston Public Hospital. According to his death registration form, he died from congestive cardiac failure. He had hypertension and he also had nephrosclerosis. 1947 to 1977. So Maxie was young. I'm starting to get bitten by mosquitoes. Here's the grave of Ernest Nemard, 1920 to 2006. Ernest Nemard. Here are two graves. They look just alike. I'm assuming they are families. They have to be families. Let me go around and see if I can read it here. This one, this one says, in loving memory of a dearly devoted father and grandfather, Lawrence Augustus Brown, August 14, 1918 to November 1981. Lawrence Brown was a laborer who lived on Peacock Heights, Black River, St. Elizabeth. He died at home from congestive cardiac failure at age 63. And beside him, we see the grave of, say, in loving memory of a dearly devoted mother, grandmother, Myrtella Brown, 1914 to August 20, 1996. So these could be husband and wife, husband and wife. And here we have the grave of, it say, in loving memory of a dear mother and grandmother, Maud Legister, 1900 to June 16, 1980. Maud Legister lived in Black River, St. Elizabeth. She had hypertension and died from cerebral atheroma. To be born in 1900, the turn of the century, I can say I have lived to see the turn of a century. That's 2000. Okay. Here's a grave of Evadne Ida Smith, 1920 to January 29. Evadne Ida Smith. This grave, wow, December 1982. I can't make out the name, but somebody put it in there while it was being concrete off. This is the grave of Daisy Miller, 1930 to 1985. Daisy Miller. She was not that old. She was about 50. She was in her early 50s. And beside her is Andrew Miller. So Daisy Miller, Andrew Miller. Daisy died in 1985. Andrew died in 1991. He was born in 1920. So they could be husband and wife. Very likely. It's a good thing to marry to bury husband and wives beside each other, a husband and wife. But it usually don't happen that way because sometime one died, then the other moved away to somewhere else and died there. Okay, the rain is falling. It was falling heavy. Now it starts again. And I'm just gonna wrap up here with the grave of Ethel Allen, Sister Erkel, Sister Ekel, 1910 to 1991. Sister Ekel. Whenever time you hear the word sister, you know you're talking about church. It's a good thing I decided to wear these shoes today. Uh, it's a clock. It's a clock, and clocks are very strong. I said I would go away after reading Sister Ekel. But let me look at this one. It says, in loving memory of Pamela Yvonne Baker, the 27th of January 1938 to the 25th of November 1981. Pamela Yvonne Baker. I saw these graves over here and I love the tile. The tiling work is awesome. I'm gonna leave that because of the rain. Lily Maud Ruddock, 1906 to 1982. Lily. Look at those four graves. They gotta be families. All right, let me take a look. Oh my God, this is collapsing. So I'm not gonna walk too much on it. All right. All right. Bertie Emmanuel James Jones died in 2008. The others are a little rubbed off. I'm not gonna try to read them. All right, let me read this last one out. Hello, cow. Hello. All right, here we're gonna close with that what's that name? You say Claswell. In loving memory of my dear husband, Claswell Jameson, February 6, 1934 to October 8, 1995. All right. Could so it's the in loving memory of my dear husband. And then beside it, I saw a Jameson up there, and I'm wondering, is that the same lady whose husband died in 1995? I think so. It's a little covered up, but it says Millicent Jameson, 1935 to 2017. All right, and this is Claswell Jameson. So she, I think she's the same one who was saying in loving memory of my dear husband. I think she's the one who died in 2017 up there. So she buried her husband in 1995 and she died in 2017 and is buried close to him here. All right, guys, so that is the end of my tour of Logwood Cemetery, part 2. It's a huge cemetery. I did not know this in my first video. The rain is putting a difficulty on me. I don't want it to come down any heavier like the first time. I gotta get out of here. I'm even getting a little hungry. Gotta get something to eat in the town of Black River. You see, I didn't show you any sea today. I didn't show you the town of Black River today because I just stopped and I just head right over here. Logwood Cemetery. I believe the amount of burials over here are in the thousands. Something that I did not see in the first video. So leave a comment. Tell me if you have seen the grave of someone you knew or you're related to. Look at that. All of that is the cemetery. All of that is the cemetery. All right, so guys, thanks for watching. And I see you again in the next interesting video here on Jamaican chapter. And I will not always be doing cemetery videos. You know, I cover the lives and the death of famous people. I want to get back to some of that. So for a while, I won't be doing cemetery video. I think this will be the second to last video on cemeteries for a while. And I'll get back to doing some videos on famous people. So I started here in my first video and I thought this was just the only section. But you can see how big Logwood Cemetery is. Does anybody know Fat Belly? He'll come back to my mind. Does anybody know Fat Belly? The guy I just read a while ago. I want to know why they call him Fat Belly. You remember in my first video I passed this tree and it was filled with mangoes that didn't start to ripe yet. Now it is ripening. Would it be called theft if I go up to it and I just pick a mango? Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. This is so beautiful. Okay, it's so beautiful. I'm gonna eat this. Yeah, I'm gonna eat this. It's a nice mango. It's a common mango, the common mangoes. No, this is not common mango. The smell of it The smell of it is a little, I'm not sure what this is, but I'm gonna eat this. And while I'm eating, guys, I have to say thanks for watching, and I see you again in the next video. Bye.